Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Better Everyday Life projects. Okay, we're going to keep 2017 moving with some momentum. We're 2 weeks in, and this is when everybody really starts to, you know, fall off in their resolutions and their goals. And so I wanted to do an encore presentation of, 7 strategies to help you keep momentum and keep it moving throughout 2017 so that we can make 2017 the best year ever. So we're just after 11 here in sunny Surrey, British Columbia. It's a beautiful day, a little cold and frigid. We're having the first winter we've had in a long time, and it's a great time to stay in for me and have this presentation go out to all of you. So I want to get started, and we're going to talk about the 7 strategies to getting and maintaining momentum with your goals and resolutions, because it's true that statistically speaking, most people don't stick to their resolutions. We're going to go over that as we get the presentation started. So here we go. Let me just fire up my screen share here. And I got a slideshow going because I am live. I want to respect your time. I appreciate you being here. And let's see what we have going on. The Better Everyday Life project is something that my buddy and I came up with, because we believe that everybody wants to, improve something in their life. And it's why not have a better everyday life? Everything is about continuous and never-ending improvement. So let's find a way to make that happen. So without further ado, I want to just share with you this presentation and some slides. Again, my name is Marc Caron. I'm a inspired living coach. I like to help people create that better everyday life so that they can get distinctions and find different ways to, really create the change that they want to in their life. So here we go. Yeah, they say don't put any special effects, but I couldn't help. I love the curtains. So here we go. 7 strategies to getting and keeping momentum with your New Year's resolutions. Did you know that 95% of people who set their New Year's resolutions never follow through? That's why we're here today, because I don't want any of us to be those people. And the reason is that many people don't even understand the process of how to produce lasting results, and they rarely even take the first steps. So within their, making a resolution and a goal, they do it mostly because they think that they're supposed to. It's kind of a tradition every time it comes around New Year's, right? So, why are you here? Well, you're probably here because you don't want to be one of those statistics. I know I don't. You want to make 2017 your best year ever. I know I do. 2016 was pretty good, though I've heard a lot of people say how it was a really sucky year. And, there were some things that weren't great for me, but of course, I thought it was pretty good because it delivered what I needed. So you're definitely in the right place. We're going to go over some strategies to keep this moving for you and make 2017 your best year ever. It's really pretty simple. We're not going to overcomplicate it, and then we're going to get moving. Because I know what it's like, whether it's New Year's or not. I've been there too. Getting and keeping momentum can sometimes be tricky. Of that, there's no question. And if there's one thing I've learned, is the power of having the right motivation and the right tools in place, especially when life gets hectic with all of our obligations, right? When we align ourselves with an empowering mind and heart set, it truly becomes much easier. So know that I'm here to support you on your journey. Hey, you see, even I'm, human being. I'm not perfect, and that's what I love about live presentations, is I can be real just like you and know that I'm no different. A little bit about myself. I'm just going to be turning 50 in the next few months, and my life has been great. I've had a lot of great experiences. There's been a lot of ups and downs, but I've got really into personal development and the psychology of growth and why we do what we do. And, when I turned 40 10 years ago, I was pushing 200 pounds, and it's certainly not where my life was going to be. I wasn't happy in my job. It's just not what I really wanted. So, it was at that time that I went and I lost a whole bunch of weight, and I got myself on track to create my better everyday life for myself. And part of that was about diving deep into personal development, personal growth. And I got a number of different life coaching certificates. Studied with Tony Robbins, Madonna, Steve Jones, just to name a few, Brendan Bouchard. If there's one thing I learned, we'll talk about modeling as we move forward, is I just went on a journey of learning from the best. And I dove in for a number of years and read a lot of books and a lot of study. And here I am to share some of the things that I've learned with you. So, what is the law of momentum I speak of? Well, to simply put it, basically it's when something seems to get in motion, it tends to stay in motion. And when something seems to stop, it stops. So if you think about, when you were growing up on the playground and we'd ride the merry-go-round, right? We've all been on the merry-go-round. Have you ever been one of those people who had to spin the merry-go-round and it was full of all your friends? Well, man, it was tough, especially if it was by yourself. But once you got that thing spinning, it was a lot easier to keep it spinning with just an easy little whoosh, whoosh. You could do it one-handed, but when you get it started, you need two hands and you need to just reef on it to get some speed and get some momentum going, right? So that's one of the things that is really important about momentum, is once you get it moving, it's a lot easier to keep it moving. And I know, because I've started and stopped a few things a number of times. And, you always go back to the drawing board and starting over. So what I want to inspire you all to is to just keep moving forward, take the action in the direction that you want to go, and, don't stop, because when you do stop, it's a lot more difficult to get it going forward. So strategy number one, we're going to dive right in. We're going to talk about clarity is power. So you want to get clear. And what do I mean by that? Well, you need to be honest and clear about where you're at. If you're, pushing whatever weight you're at and you don't want to be that weight, if you're in a job that you don't want to be in or you're not happy in it, let's be honest and be certain about that. Because these are the things that, so many of us lie to ourselves and we're not honest. So I want you to answer yourself a few questions as I'm going to ask them, and I'm going to go through them fairly quick, but I just want to stimulate your mind so that you can start thinking about where you were and what it is you're going to want. So, really what was great about 2016? You want to know, no matter how good or bad it may have been for some, what was great about it? Because these are things that we want to acknowledge, and I'm sure it wasn't all bad. What were your successes and accomplishments in 2016? What did you achieve? What were things that you're really proud of? What would you like to do more of in 2016? I know what I'd like to do more of, in 2017 would be travel. I want to do more and see more, and I want to learn more. So I'm committed in 2017 to travel, to grow, to learn, to support people. And of course, I want to build out my business, and my business is all about helping people. So I want to learn more and I want to help more people. What was great? What was not great about 2016? Well, 2016, if I'm going to be honest, for me, 2016 wasn't the best year for me in terms of, work and finance. Health was good. I did travel. I had a lot of great things, but yeah, what was great, when I look at, at my numbers, it certainly wasn't where I wanted it to be. What about you? Let's be honest and discuss what was not great about your 2016. And what would you do differently as a result? Well, the one thing I would do is I'd take more action. If I'm looking at my numbers and that was the thing that wasn't great for me about 2016, I need to take more action in the right direction so I can help more people, and in return, see my income, increase as well. What was your biggest challenge of 2016, or maybe challenges? Maybe, you had some family issues, relationship issues, things like that. What was that for you? Because these are the things that we can really learn from, is where our challenges are. And, every time I see a challenge, it's always an opportunity for me to grow. A lot of people avoid them and don't acknowledge them. So, if we look at our challenges as a learning and growth opportunity, then they can be quite powerful. What did you learn from these challenges? Yeah, that's just kind of what we talked about, right? What decisions did you make that were important and empowering? Well, one of the most important decisions I made was getting back into the Tony Robbins crew community. Been a number of years since I, had been out of that area, and what I noticed is it's where I light up. It's where I thrive. I totally enjoy being within the community where we're creating change for thousands of people at a time. And overall, are you closer or further away from your desired outcomes in life? So whatever you want in life, whether it's making more money or more passionate relationships or, traveling or what have you, is the actions that you took getting you closer to that, or were you further away from that? Because these are clues that really identify the things that we can focus on. So now that you know where you were at, it's important to know where you want to go, right? It's like a map. If you're going on a trip somewhere, on a road trip, you're going to hop in your car, it's important to know where you're at. And that's what we just spoke of. And then it's, where do you want to go? If I want to go from Vancouver to LA, a map helps because I have a few different routes. I can go the long way. I can go the direct way. I can go the scenic way. But it's important to know where I'm going and how I'm going to get there. So that map is important, and it's important in our life when we want to go somewhere and we don't know, or even being honest of where we're starting from. So that's just a metaphor I like to have, that know where you're going, know where you're starting from, because if you don't know where you're at, you don't even know how to use that map properly, right? What are your goals for the next year, for the next 3 years, for the next 5 years? It's important to have an idea of what that is, to have them written down. We have many different areas and roles in our lives. Are you focused on one specifically, or are you looking at a few different areas, right? Are you focused on your relationships? Whether it might be your relationship with yourself, your romantic relationships with your family, your coworkers, your boss, your customers. What is it you're focused on there? What about health and fitness? You want to lose weight, nutrition, build muscle? Maybe you just want to give up a couple of different things. It's really about what you're focused on. Financial and career. Are you making the income you desire? Are you doing what you want to do? These are all really areas that everybody has, to some degree, these areas in their life that they are working on, or maybe they're not working on because they're good, but it's all about having balance. Because, hey, you might have a great relationship, but your health and fitness is going. Your financial and career might be going really well, but your relationships are suffering because of it. And maybe so is your health and fitness, because you're working too much. You're not spending enough time with your family, and your health and fitness could be suffering because you're so busy. You're not taking the time to eat right. You're eating fast food and processed foods all the time because you're too busy being busy. Then we have spiritual. That could mean something different for everybody. So, as much as I love to talk about spiritual things, we're not going to go into detail about that. But, maybe you need to go to church more, or meditate, or whatever that might be for you. Contribution. Maybe you want to work and contribute more to helping your favorite charity, or, whatever that might be. Who are you contributing to? Where are you giving to freely, and so you can make a difference in the world? Maybe you're focused on planning a vacation, having fun and travel, some sort of celebrations. You might have some milestone birthdays or anniversaries coming up. So what are you focused on? Because wherever your energy goes, or your focus goes, your energy flows. If you're focused on one thing too much, other areas are going to suffer. So balance is always the key thing. Now, when making and setting your goals, it's always a key part of the process to make them SMART. And SMART is an acronym that's out there in the coaching world that we use a lot. And, your goals want to be specific. So if you want to lose weight, how much do you want to lose specifically? A pound, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, or more? If you want to make more money, what is that? Do you want to make an extra $500 a month, or $500 a year? Is it $5,000 a month, or $5,000 a year? It's really up to you, but it's possible that what you do is you do need to be specific. Your goals have to be measurable, because that comes part of being specific, right? So if you just want to lose weight, well, how do you know if you don't know where you started? If you might be 175 pounds and you want to be 160, you need to know where you're at, what we started in the beginning, right? You need to be clear of where you're starting. And then you need to be specific. I want to lose 15 pounds. So that makes it measurable. Now you can step on the scale after you've taken the specific action, and you can decide whether you're actually achieving some of your goals, right? Your goals need to be actionable. You have to create, an opportunity so that they're actually doable. Realistic. Don't expect your 2-day-old baby to build a 747 with no help, because that's just unrealistic. However, you want to make your goals so that they push you a little bit, because if you don't, push hard, make them a little bit challenging, you're not going to build that muscle and get the same result. And of course, timely. A time management plan helps everything else come into play. If you want to lose that 15 pounds, how long of time are you going to give that? So that's what we mean by being smart. And if you want any more information on that, you can certainly Google SMART goals. There's tons of them out there in terms of information and tools that you can use out there. Strategy number 2. This one's really a powerful thing, and it's something I've come up with because it's the 4 P's of a fulfillment, or having a fulfilled life. And life without being fulfilled and happy is really no life at all. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy, what good is that, right? So the first P is purpose. What's your purpose in life? Why do you even do what you do? Which all comes down to purpose. What's your drive? And what is your driving force? What drives you to do what it is you do? Do you know what that is? Are you driven by pain? Are you driven by pleasure? Passion. Are you passionate and excited about your life? Because that's really important. Life without passion, you're just going through life, going through the motions, and you might be, kind of a Debbie Downer if you're not passionate about what you're doing. What are your hobbies? Do you like to garden? Do you like to read? Do you like to drive? Do you like to play golf? What is it you like to do and that you're passionate about? Because whatever it is, make sure that you have time in your life to do these things. What is it that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning? What is it that makes you want to get up early and stay up late? I know that there's certain things I like to do that, I can get up early and stay up late, and I love it. And part of that is fire teaming with the Robbins crew. We're up early, we work hard all day, and we're up super late. Sometimes they're like a 21-hour day. So, it's something that I like to do, and that's one of the things that makes me want to get up early and stay up late. Same as travel. If I'm going get to hop on an airplane and I'm going somewhere, whether it's work or pleasure, I'm happy to get up early, and I'm happy to stay up late to do it, because, man, I love flying, I love traveling, I love seeing different parts of the world, and that's one of my big goals for this coming year. What would you do if money wasn't an issue? That's always a great question. It's what I like to ask people all the time, because it makes a big difference, right? If money was an issue, we may not do things, but, what is it that you're so passionate about that you would do, and you'd happily do it for free? Pleasure. Well, a life without pleasure is no life at all. Life is meant to be enjoyed, right? So what is it that you do for pleasure? Again, it's always a bit of passion involved in that as well. But you might, like to go for a walk with your dog or your cat or your pet monkey. Pleasure might be, again, traveling. It could be loving and your sexuality bring you pleasure, which for most people it does. So what is it that brings you pleasure? And, are you doing these things? Because these are the things that you have to reward yourself with. And how often do you do the things that you love? So if you like to play golf and golf gives you pleasure, do you play once a month, once a year, once a week, once a day? It's really up to you. Some people get a lot of pleasure from working out, and they work out every day. Some people get no pleasure from working out, and they still work out every day, but that's because they have, a purpose within that, right? And the trick is to find a way to enjoy even the painful things that give you pleasure, especially if they're good for you, good for others, and serve the greater good. It's always important to celebrate our successes, both big or small, and that's part of a pleasurable thing. Going to a party, a birthday party, recognizing an achievement, these all give us pleasure, and it's important to make sure that we enjoy things of that nature. Present. This was a big one because so many people aren't present in their life and in the world today. They're so busy being busy that when someone's talking to them, they're not paying attention. So my question to you is, are you present in what you do and when you do it? So, are you focused on the task at hand, the conversation you're having? Like right now, as we're going through this webinar, Are you present? Are you connected to your phone? Are you watching Facebook? Are you petting your dog? Are you scratching your cat? Maybe you're not even sitting in front of your computer and you're doing other things. Um, so you're not really present. Anytime you're multitasking, you're not present. One of the biggest complaints you see in relationships is he's not listening or you're not listening to me, right? Because you're so disengaged because you might be thinking of a situation at work or you might be watching TV when your partner's talking to you. And that's not really a great thing, right? Are you daydreaming, thinking of other things when you should be listening or working or meditating? I know I'm guilty of that. I've done it often. I even had it one time when I had she was my ex from a number of years ago, but there was times she goes, "You're not listening," and it's funny because I was actually watching TV. I think I was watching Survivor at the time. This was probably, must have been 17, 18, maybe even 19 years ago, and I said, "Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am." And she said, "Well, what did I just say?" And I repeated back to her almost word for word what she had said. Now, the truth is, I wasn't really listening, but I was hearing what she had said, which is very different than being present because I was engaged in something else and I wasn't really present and paying attention. So, it's really important to be aware of these things when you're moving forward and going through anything that you're doing, to be present, because your partner, your boss, they all know when you're not really paying attention. So really be present. It makes a whole difference in whatever it is you're doing. Strategy number 3 is to create a plan. Do you have a plan for achieving your goals and what's going on? And, when you're looking to have resolutions and goals, creating that plan is mandatory. You have to have a plan of action. So, once you know what you want, that you have to have that plan for acquiring it. You want to consider things like resources, what it's going to cost, the people you need to connect with, the tools. You need to know what kind of action you're going to take and when you're going to take it. You need to know how much time is needed to achieve your goal or how much time you have to schedule to achieve your goals and spend achieving your resolutions. And is it something that can be done once and it's complete? Or, is it something that will take more time, that's a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, or something you're going to have to do regularly for the rest of your life? And something like that is exercise. That's always about a lifestyle. Health and nutrition is a lifestyle. It's not something like a diet where you go on it for 3 months and then you stop, right? Because statistics show that people gain more weight after a diet than they actually had on when they started their diet. So that's really important. So your daily routine and your time management is a key part to your success, and it's all part of your plan. And here's a planning tip for you. And this is one of the best tips I've learned to help plan and achieve your goals, and it's to use the principle of modeling. Now, modeling is something I learned from Tony Robbins, and he talks that you can condense a decade into a year, into a few months, even to a couple of weeks. And what that really is by identifying someone who has already accomplished what you would like to accomplish, and basically copy and do the same thing that they're doing. Make it your own, of course, so you're not plagiarizing and you're not totally copying things. But study what they did and how they did it, then do what they did. And this will help you accelerate your time for achieving your goals, and you can save a ton of money and time on costly mistakes, which I just consider mistakes learning opportunities. So, that's a big one. 4 is action. Action equals momentum. The more action you take in a consistent action, the sooner and better and easier it is to achieve your goals and your resolutions. And you want to take massive action on your plan. That's what we call a map. A map is a massive action plan, which is connected to the planning stage we were talking about. So the more action you take, the more momentum you get. The more momentum you get, the easier it is to take continuous action. Remember my story about the merry-go-round when we were playing on the playground as kids, right? The more action, the more you get that thing spinning, the easier it was to keep it spinning, right? So it's the same thing. The more action and momentum you get, the easier it is to take that action. Just a simple concept. And the more action equals greater results. So if you take that action once a day, once a week, once a month, your results are going to be in kind. So, if you exercise every day, you're going to have a better chance and a better opportunity to achieve your goal of losing weight and being more fit and healthy than if you do it once a week or even once a month. Once a month's not really going to do anything for you, right? Once a week's barely going to do anything for you, but you do it once a day, you're actually going to get somewhere. And then you want to measure and adjust. This is an important part of any kind of, massive action plan. You need to really, let's say this, you can't manage what you don't measure. An old manager I worked with this, I remember him saying that, and it was like, oh, it really made sense. So if you're not measuring something, you're not really managing it, right? So if you're going to the gym and you're working out once in a blue moon or even every day, if you're not stepping on the scale, if you're not increasing your weights, if you're not managing and taking a look at some of the statistics, then, it's really hard to measure. Or if you're not measuring, it's really hard to manage. You must be able to measure results of your actions so that you know what is working and what isn't. Then are your actions getting you closer to your desired result, or is it getting you further away? Then what you need to do is you need to adjust your plan. Notice what's working and do more of that, and notice what's not working and stop doing it. And when something isn't working, it's a pretty simple solution. You want to change your approach. You change your approach, and then you take action on that and measure it, see if it's working. If that's not working, change your approach again. Pretty simple. Take action in the direction of the change that you made, measure it, see what happens. Now, are you getting closer to what you want to achieve or further away? Again, if you're getting further away, change your approach. How often do you change your approach? Well, you change your approach until you get what you want. It's that simple. That's the whole law of persistence and perseverance, right? You keep changing your approach until you get the result that you want. So strategy number 6 is all about creating an empowering environment. What you're surrounded with, where you're at, what you're doing. It always helps to surround yourself in a good environment. If you're surrounded by things that are not making you feel good or are cluttered and you're having those kind of issues, then it's really important to create an environment of which works. This is kind of a crazy analogy, but you can take someone who's got a drug problem and all of that sort of stuff, and you get those guys. You've heard of the word crack house and things like that. If you take a guy who's gone to recovery and got himself cleaned up and getting on a good path, what kind of environment do you think he should go back into? Should he go back to the crack house that he left? I don't think so, because statistically speaking, it would just be a matter of time before they start using again. And I know it's an extreme example, but it's true. It's the same as if you're exercising and working out. It'd be a much more difficult thing to get yourself fit and healthy and then go hang out in a donut shop for your spare time, right? So, create yourself a comfortable workspace. If it's about working, whether it's chairs, desks, tools of your trade, it might be about exercise as well. Better in the office. Some people work great at Starbucks, the same as your exercise routine. Some people like going to the gym. Some people don't. I know I personally don't enjoy going to the gym, but my yoga mat sits in my living room regularly so that I can see that and I can maintain my yoga, 5 days a week that I like to commit myself to doing. And I have a nice little workout center here in my building. So, I like to work there. It's just what I like. Everybody's different. So, know what works for you. And that's what you want to be doing. And surround yourself with like-minded people. People who are supportive, understanding, goal-oriented, people who exercise, who are fit and healthy, entrepreneurs, people in strong, loving relationships. Whatever it is that you're looking for and that the way you want to be, surround yourself with people who are like that. Because like attracts like, and water seeks its own level. So you got a much better chance of, making $100,000 a year if that's what you want to do. If you're hanging around with people who are making $100,000 a year, or people who want to and are working towards that. But if you want to make $100,000 a year and you're hanging around with people who are only making 25 and they're happy with that, the odds of you making $100,000 a year are going to be difficult. or less easy, and you may just be dragged down by your friends and your peer group. So remember this quote: we become the 5 people we surround ourselves with the most. And our last strategy is about accountability. Accountability is one of those things that without it, it's, success is a team sport. Let's just say that. And I know accountability is something that works for me. I can have all these things in place, but if I'm not accountable to anyone, then my achievement really goes down in terms of the possibility. You want to get leverage on yourself. What will you gain when you achieve your goals? That's the pleasure that we're working towards, because you need to have your purpose. That's why you have a goal, right? How's that going to make you feel when you actually achieve it? How will you feel when you do, right? What will it cost you if you don't achieve your goals? What's the pain associated to not losing that weight, to not making that extra coin? What will you not be able to do? Who will it cost you maybe in your life, right? That's what I mean by getting leverage. Is you want to get pain to not achieving it, and you want to have pleasure to achieving it. So this is all about having that leverage. So it's really important that you're really aware of the cost. Always have an accountability partner. It's really key. I myself have learned that is huge for me. If I don't have anyone holding me accountable, I'm a lot less likely to stick to things long term. I'm personally part of a couple of groups right now who help keep me on track. So it's important that you get yourself with a partner group. Maybe it's a workout buddy, maybe it's a business partner, maybe it's anybody who's going to hold you accountable, and you've got to hold this person in high enough regard and esteem that when they call you out on things, you're going to respect and appreciate it. Like I say, I'm in 2 different groups right now. One is a mastermind. We meet every week where we talk about our goals, what we've achieved, what we didn't achieve, and then we discuss and create plans for getting and keeping on track. I'm also part of a 90-day transformation challenge that we report every day based on certain things that we want to accomplish every day. And that's something that's really important, because that's a group of peers that I'm happy to be part of. And, in order to be part of that group, I need to be, stepping up to a higher level. Your accountability partner is someone who knows what you want and why you want it, and knows the cost if you don't succeed, because they know your leverage, and they're going to use your leverage in order to keep you accountable. You might want to get a coach. That's what coaching is all about. I've got one friend who just a few weeks ago says, yeah, I think I need to hire me another accountability coach. And that's exactly what she was looking for, was an accountability coach. She wasn't looking for a relationship coach or anything of that nature. She needed someone who's going to, kick her in the butt when she wasn't getting her stuff going. So it's really important to, hire someone as well and enlist the services of an expert to help you, especially, if it's a fitness coach, a health and nutrition coach. These are all people who can help you based on what your goals are. And that's why coaching comes in many different forms, depending on what you're looking to achieve. Coaches help you identify your barriers. They provide tools and resources. Very often, coaches have overcome the same obstacles you have and are working to and are able to help you because they've been there. You know what? Everybody needs a coach, and it's really true. Top athletes have coaches. These are guys who are getting paid, a lot of them multiple millions of dollars a year. They've all got coaches, and truth be told, many of them have more than one. They might have their sport coach, they're going to have their business coach, they're going to have their relationship coach. Someone like Tiger Woods, I always think, I know that he's got a swing coach for his golf game. He's got a psychology coach for the psychology behind the game. And with all that stuff he had going on a number of years ago, I'd like to think he has a relationship coach too. Business people, CEOs, leaders, coworkers, entrepreneurs, they all have coaches. Even if it might be people within their business, they all have people who are their mentors, right? We could all use a trained cheerleader on our side. And that's what I do. I'm a coach, and I want to help you achieve what it is you want to achieve in your life. Because there's different types of coaching. We have relationships, sexuality, health, fitness, lifestyle, financial, work, business coaching, sport-specific coaching, psychology coaching, spirituality, mindfulness, inner peace. The things I like to focus on in my coaching, I focus on. I'm an inner peace coach for sure because I love to live a life of being balanced and peaceful no matter what's going on in life. I don't believe in worrying and stressing out. I believe really in being. I like to focus on relationships and sacred sexuality, as well as health and fitness, because I think those are, some of the most primary areas in our lives that we all need to focus on. And you know, when we have those things in line, our finances and many other things just fall into place naturally. So I offer a deal right now for coaching. If you're looking for something like that, and if it's something that you would like to take on, my coaching right now, and this is last day that I'm offering this. It's just a momentum special. $297 will get you a 3-month one-on-one coaching, gets you basically 2 sessions once a month that are anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes long. And we move forward helping you keep online and check in, have some accountability. And I'll give you tools and strategies to help you achieve your goals. Then I have the best value. This one's regular $14.97. I'm letting it go for $5.97. I'm letting you have it for $5.97. I'm not letting it go because I'm not like selling an actual product that I'm letting go of. And what that is a 6-month one-on-one coaching, which is 2 30 to 45-minute sessions once a month, or twice a month, sorry. And then what you get is you get a 6-month group coaching where we meet on average every 2 weeks, and as a group, and we'll take specific situations, we'll coach through those, as well as I'm going to offer some monthly content workshops. And within the monthly content workshops, those will also then be part of what we focus our group coaching on. So 1 month may be about relationships. We'll start with content workshop on relationships, and then as we move through, we're going to coach about relationships. Then we might look at finances and things of that nature. So we're going to talk about that. One will be about time management, and then we'll coach on that. So that's really the strategy and the structure of how those goes. And one of the things that I think is really important is the one-on-one coaching. I've bought a lot of programs online, and the one thing that I miss out of a lot of this online training is the one-on-one coaching, because I know for me, I'm a connector. I can learn and study and pay attention to all the stuff online all day long, and that's great. But what I found is having that accountability to speak with someone every couple of weeks who's actually going to keep me on track and keep me accountable, that's the biggest success for me. Because left to my own device, it's true. I'm human like many of us, or I'd like to think all of us are human anyways. That's what really drives me. It's what helps keep me accountable, because I'm working with someone, and I've actually paid money, so I've got skin in the game, and I don't want to waste that. And as a fast action bonus, those who act now enroll in the 6-month package, you get all the other bonuses. Where with the 3-month one, at $297, I just want people to not have money be a barrier to getting some coaching and getting started with their new year. So that's really important, because for some money and some coaching, I know that I know what the best coaches in the world charge, and I know my business coach tells me to charge $175 an hour, and that would be US dollars. And as much as I know that I'm worth that, I want you to be able to have a coach more than I want you to be spending a whole lot of dough, because I do not want money to be a barrier for you to get the service and the help that you need. And then my second bonus, and this is just a fun one, because, I was born and raised Canadian, and I'm living here in Canada. I'm presenting here in Canada. So these prices are in Canadian dollars. So for all you Canadians, what does that mean? The price you see is the price you pay. And for all of those outside of Canada, just so you know, it's 24% cheaper than paying those prices in US dollars. So for example, I just went online before we did this and checked out the current currency exchange. The 3-month coaching package is really only approximately $227 US dollars, and the 6-month coaching package really becomes about $455. I know it's pretty crazy, right? Where else are you going to get that kind of deal on world-class coaching? And I've been taught by the best. My favorite coaching, my favorite immersion is it's been through Tony Robbins. And for all those who know him or may know of him, this is where I learned modeling. And, he says study for the best of the best. And I believe he is the best at getting change anywhere. I've seen him transform people's lives in a matter of time. in a short amount of time, in an hour or less, or maybe even a couple of hours. It depends. I've seen some pretty powerful interventions that he's done. And, he's helped people where their psychiatrists or counselors weren't able to help them at all. And they've been seeing them for years. So, I chose to learn from the best, and I've got the tools and the ability that I want to help you make the changes you want in your life. So again, there's my New Year Momentum Special. It says it ends January 1st, but I extended this because I gave it an extra 2 weeks. I thought I'd come on and do this presentation one more time, because the 2-week mark is where people actually fall off on their resolutions and their goals, and they start losing momentum. So I've extended that to today. If you have any questions, you can visit my website at markcaron.com. And just so you know there, if you're not sure about taking any one of these packages, if you go right there, you can actually sign up for a complimentary strategy session where I will help you out and we'll create a strategy so you can get your New Year's off to a great start. And of course, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you work with me for 30 days, you take up any of these promotions, and you're not satisfied for any reason, I'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. I want you to be happy with the service I'm providing you, and I want you to be getting the results that you want. So it's important that there's no risk for you. Okay? So again, there it is, $297 for a 3-month one-on-one coaching, $597 for 6 months, where you're going to get a one-on-one coaching with me twice a month. You're going to get a bi-weekly group coaching call. And then you're also going to get monthly bonus content where we're going to go deep in with, basically relationships. We're going to look at inner peace. We're going to look at health and wellness, which is a big one. We're going to look at, financials and career things and what we want to accomplish that way. And those are just 4 of the top topics that we're going to look at. And we may go in deeper depending on what you guys want, because you're going to tell me what you want, and that's what I'm going to deliver. Great. Well, thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, you can email me at marc@markcaron.com. And there's a couple of references I have there. There's one fellow here, a friend of mine. He had said, great session yesterday. It was good to talk about ideas, but also how to focus them in a productive way. And Keith has gone on to make some changes in his life, where I'm really proud to see where we look at his life. I call it his wife style versus his lifestyle, because he's very relationship centered and focused, and they've got a beautiful relationship, which I admire very much. And he's put his lifestyle into his wife style now, which is much better than where he was before. And my friend Nina as well, what does she go on to say? Marc's warm, personal manner and broad-minded approach creates easy rapport and a safe space to explore difficult life issues. His ability to identify the key areas of work is most helpful in moving forward towards a desired change. A session with Marc is always enlightening, uplifting, and inspiring. So I thank Nina for that, and Nina's become a friend of mine as well. So those are the things, couple of testimonials there. Money back guarantee. There's my website. That's me right there. So if anybody has any questions or there's anything more I can contribute, I'm happy to answer them. And again, thank you very much for your time. If you're watching this replay, I thank you for watching. And if there's anything I can do, just shoot me an email. Look me up, and I'm happy to serve. So that's what I've got going there. And I'm going to turn my screen share off. There I am right here. See, I was live. It's I believe that's really important to acknowledge our time, because it's the one resources we never get back, right? It's something that, money comes and goes. Our time, once it's gone, it's gone. I want to honor you for being here live, as I'm here live, and that's why I'm here live. There's a lot of pre-recorded stuff out there where some people are actually tricking you that they're live, but they're not. And I'm not going to do that. If I'm not going to be there live and it's recorded, that's what I'm going to tell you. So, that being said, I wish you a great day. Make your life a masterpiece and really live your life inspired, because anything else less, you're cheating yourself. So have a great day, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Take care.